And Carson Wentz is going to be this team's quarterback going forward. The thing is, you have to get rid of Nick Foles. You need Nick Foles out of the building. Because as long as Nick Foles is in the building, you're going to have these questions. There was a time last night when the Chicago Bears were driving, and we were joking in here that
dealing. There's no question about it. What's interesting about this for me from Carson Wentz's standpoint is there's a lot of things that he can learn from Nick right now watching that hopefully will make him a better quarterback in the future. And that's this. I think Carson can be better because of this now, but you're right. If he wins a couple more games, you're sitting there going.
I just think it's a different conversation.
But you're talking about those plays, but this is the same reason. Right, that's what we're talking about.
I understand.
That's not how you pick your guy.
But listen, the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, those guys are going to have a real tough decision.
Okay, but I know what you're saying, but on the inside, when you're making that decision,
and so
you can't just go, well, quarterback wins is what.
Is it transcendent? But explain this to me.
This is how I explained it when he played the first week, right? When you come into the locker room, you start talking about the difference playing. And I believe
on top of the fact that there's just been some natural evolution on that side of the ball too, and they've gotten better.
Right, Devontae Maddox has gotten better.
You're right, and you know, but I mean, you make a great point. It's funny how everyone else kind of raises their game when they feel as though the backup needs.
This was perfect. I'll say this: we make fun of Nick Foles because an excited Nick Foles and an upset Nick Foles,
all
the margin of difference is very minimal. But you know what? That has served him well, and we have seen him respond in these big situations. Look, that's why he's there. That's why they kept him in the first place.
Honestly, in a game where, Mitchell Trubisky in his first playoff game throws for over 300 yards, to not come away with a win, to me, is a huge disappointment.
Absolutely.
You know, I think it's an overreaction for me in the sense that Texans and the ineptitude of the offenses is what disappoints me. That's why it's the biggest disappointment to me. You had the Baltimore Ravens not able to make an adjustment to make that game close, and in the end,
the Baltimore Ravens been dominated at home, not very often.
He wasn't wrong either. He wasn't wrong. All right, listen, we're just getting warmed up. It really is a good day for Overreaction Monday. Wild Card Weekend just sets us up. We talked about Lamar Jackson for just a minute earlier. Obviously, there were some struggles, and there was a little bit of a decision to make in that second half. So this is what I'll say on Overreaction Monday.
For that Ravens team, we're going to come from the most explosive offensive player that they have on their roster.
Actually, for me either. The one thing you hear all the time about football players that you need to have short memories. GMs, execs, waiting for someone under center next year.
An overreaction for me as well. You take those three teams, throw in some other teams. What about the Denver Broncos?
Disappointing to see games play out like that. It's the same thing we talked about with the Ravens. It's disappointing when you see players not be utilized the way that maybe they should be.
It's an overreaction for me, though, because I don't think the tackles for me, I think trying to run the football was the right approach.
Yeah, at some point,
I'm not saying you can't adjust, but I think the plan is the game plan was to run the football.
Look, they were losing the line of scrimmage in the run game to a point where they weren't going anywhere. They weren't going to get anything.
And the way I see it too, we would be the #1 defense year in year out, and we'd play Tom Brady, and he'd eat us alive. We were right back to doing what we always did that worked against everybody else. Sometimes you just have to make those adjustments to win a game. And they weren't able to do that. And to me, that's a bigger problem than coming into the game saying that you want to run.
Funny you say that, because that's exactly what the Patriots do.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever. They'll do exactly what is necessary, and not necessarily. And they got there, but it's just at that time, in real time, you just got to be able to change a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between having an issue with the plan they came in with and the fact that maybe they didn't audible the way you thought they potentially could have. All right, how about this? Because really, there's no arguing.
He was like 10 years old, okay? If I can find a 10-year-old to execute perfectly, by the way, onside kicks like 3 times a game, then in the pros, the guy who's a punter who kicks the ball for a living.
Pete Carroll just texted me. He wants the 10-year-old's number.
Listen, he wants to sign Eli Wilt to a contract.
There you go, Eli. Well done, Mike.
Hey, let me say this. Michael,
this when kickers try to get real tricky.
Well, no,
I mean,
of course.
The Steelers had
he tried to kick him behind, and he almost broke his leg trying to do it. I'm like, what are you doing?
But part of the reason you're doing that is that because of the way they've changed.
What was he trying to do, though?
By the way, if Tiger Woods misses a putt, can he not putt? No. He missed a putt, and this guy missed an onside kick.
This is a bad time to do it.
Hey, guys.
Tough timing. Tough timing. We'll give you that.
I'm
Listen,
not giving it to him.
you're
I don't
not.
think he can do it.
You don't think he knows?
I don't think he can do it.
All right. Listen, that seems improbable, but I guess you never know. Come